I hate the term imposter syndrome. I think it's a bunch of crap. It was a made-up term by a handful of scientists after they observed a group of women who were trying to do something and were struggling with it at the beginning, and they named it imposter syndrome. The problem is this is now a term that's caught on, and when we start to feel uncomfortable when we're doing something, we label it imposter syndrome and make it bigger than it needs to be. Now all of a sudden it's another problem we're trying to solve while we're trying to do something new. I dive into the origins of imposter syndrome in a different episode that I will link to in the show notes. But here's what I want to talk to you about today of how do you overcome imposter syndrome at work. First, I want you to keep in mind imposter syndrome is just terrible, scary, big, make it harder than it needs to be branding for a very healthy, natural feeling you have when you're trying something new. Saying you have imposter syndrome when you're trying something for the first time or out of your comfort zone or feeling uncertain, worried about your ability to do something, okay? Calling that imposter syndrome is like saying you have scaredy cat syndrome when you're at the beginning of a roller coaster and it starts ticking further and further and further up and you're getting a little nervous. It's not a problem. When you're going up that roller coaster, guess what? You chose to get on it. You wanted to get on it. You knew part of that like anticipation, anxiety was going to be there. It's also kind of part of the fun. If you get on the roller coaster and you're just like all blasé and whatever, and it like kicks off and starts going, you're less likely to have such an opposite reaction and emotion. It's not as exhilarating. You might even feel some of that anticipation anxiety while you think about getting on the roller coaster, while you're in line. Imposter syndrome is just bad branding for feeling uncomfortable while we do new things. But guess what? You wanted to do the new thing. You chose to do it, or someone else chose it for you, but you agreed to do it. Okay? It's not a problem to be solved. It is part of the natural process of learning new skills. You are going to feel self-doubt along the way. We don't need to be shocked. We don't need to be surprised. We don't need to be annoyed that here it is again. It is literally how the gig works. It is part of the learning process. If you don't ever feel like an imposter, even to a small extent, you're not actually growing. You're not actually learning. You're just rinsing and repeating. So how do we overcome it? Here's what I want you to think of. Animals out in the wild, when there's a storm, they don't run away from the storm. If they try to outrun the storm, chances are they're going to end up in it even longer because that storm will catch up with them. And as it catches up, it's a little bit faster than they are, and they're in the storm even longer. What animals do is they turn into the storm and they run into it. So they use the momentum of the storm passing over and them running through it. So they're in the storm even less. The same concept applies here when we're feeling that self-doubt and uncomfortable feeling of doing new hard things and wondering if we're able to do it, okay? The way we overcome it is we got to stop and we got to double down on it. We got to turn into it. We got to run into that imposter syndrome feeling. So how do you do that? 4 steps I'd offer you to think about taking today to overcome imposter syndrome at work. 1, start by acknowledging this is totally normal for me to be feeling this. Acknowledging that is going to help reduce the intenseness of it and will help you from spiraling to like, but what if I can't do this? Am I going to get fired? Are they going to find out? I'm like, no. We don't need to have self-judgment of ourselves why we feel dumb doing new things. We just need to go feel dumb. We just need to feel doubt. Okay, but we don't need to judge ourselves. So acknowledging this is a totally normal, natural feeling. This is part of the learning process. I don't love this part. I hate this part, but this is part of the gig. Okay, so step number 1, acknowledge it's a normal feeling. Step number 2, if we're going to turn into the storm, guess what? It's going to get a little bit worse before it gets better. We're going to get drenched. We're going to have a downpour. You got to practice feeling that uncomfortableness, that self-doubt, that worry, that anticipation anxiety. If we're in it, We're going to feel it. You got to get out of your head and into your body. Do a brain scan, do meditation, do breath work. I've talked extensively in other episodes on how do you actually feel and process that. Go do those things. Okay, so first we got to acknowledge it. Second, we're going to go feel it. Third, you want to practice being a scientist as you feel it. Okay, so we're going to feel it over and over and over again. I want you to put on your scientist hat and get really good at understanding it. How long does it last? What's the hardest part about it for you? What comes easy while you're doing it? What do you struggle with while you're feeling it? Where physically in your body does it last? How intense is it? What does it do to your body temperature? The more familiar you are with that feeling, the less your nervous system is going to send signals to your body and your brain. This is dangerous, abort, let's not do this. And the more you're going to be willing to put yourself out there and try new things and feel that discomfort to learn and grow and be the kind of person you want to be. I always think of this as I have a handful of really good friends that I admire that moved to a different country, different cultures, different languages, and have built lives there. I think people that have done this are so good at imposter syndrome. They have like PhDs in it. They know exactly what it feels like because things that come easy to those of us that live in that culture are challenging. Things like getting around mass transportation, shopping in a grocery store, communicating in a language that isn't the language you spoke growing up. Because they've had to feel so much of it, they've turned into the storm. They've been in the storm for so long. They have a PhD in that storm. They know what it's like. They're all in to learn new things. And they create these amazing, rich lives and have these incredible experiences where those of us that live our life trying to avoid it, trying to not be in the storm, we don't get to have such a rich, full life. They're also very resilient and able to creatively problem solve. Because when so many things are new to you, when you're feeling so much uncertainty and discomfort, but you don't have a choice, guess what? You figure it out. Okay? So 4 steps to overcome imposter syndrome at work. 1, you got to acknowledge it's a very normal feeling. 2, you want to practice feeling it. 3, you want to become a scientist while you feel it to become its best friend. Or its frenemy, whichever one you want. And number 4 is you need to keep taking action while you feel it. Keep trying, keep figuring it out, keep asking the question. Don't think about it. Don't worry about making it perfect before we go and do something. You need to go and do it. Let me give you a couple examples of what this might look like at work. Let's say you're managing people for the first time and you 100% are feeling some imposter syndrome. Natural, normal. This is a good sign, right? We want to acknowledge this is normal. Healthy leaders care what type of a leader they are. Is it effective? Is it working? Is it supporting people? Is it driving people to help hit their goals and hit the company goals? Okay? It's a very normal feeling to be uncertain of what your leadership style is, how it's going to go when you're doing that for the first time. Second, you want to practice feeling it, okay? When you go and have a team meeting, how are you feeling during that team meeting? When I was in this scenario, I was sweating like crazy. My stomach was all gurgly. My chest gets all splotchy. My heart pounds. My voice gets really airy and breathy. And I get very self-conscious because I worry that everyone can tell that like physically I'm freaking out. And I struggle to listen because I'm so just consumed with like, oh my gosh, can everyone tell that I'm freaking out? Third, become the scientist with it. How long does it last? For me, the intenseness of it is about 2 to 3 minutes. And then it kind of eases off a little. And then someone asks a question I don't know the answer to, and then it comes back and it's about 2 or 3 minutes and then it fades off again, right? It comes and it goes, it comes and it goes. But really the intenseness of it is just a couple minutes. I can do things for a couple minutes. I can do a lot of really hard things for longer than that. So while I'm having those hard couple minutes, while I'm feeling insecure, while I'm a first-time manager in that team meeting, I'm going to keep trying some things. I'm going to shake up the agenda. I'm going to ask for feedback. I'm going to try a different format for status updates. I'm going to try finding other ways to make sure I'm developing people and talking about their careers. I got to go and try a bunch of things to figure it out if this is my first time doing it. And I for sure am going to flub my way through it. That's okay. That's how we learn. Let's look at the example of starting a new job. Okay, totally normal to feel very self-conscious and self-aware and insecure and some imposter syndrome. You don't know the team, you don't know the dynamics, you may not know the work culture, you may not be super familiar with the management and leadership style, you're not sure what is socially acceptable and not acceptable, you're not sure what they're really expecting of you, you question if you're doing it right or if you're asking dumb questions or if you're doing enough. Guess what? All of that means you care and you want to do a good job, okay? Very normal, very healthy ways to feel while you're starting a new job. 2, go and practice feeling it. Get out of your head, into your body. Where do you feel it? For me, it's not as much in my stomach in that scenario. It's more so in my chest. 3, be the scientist. How long does it last? What's the hardest part about it? Where does it move anywhere else in my body? Does it change my body temperature? What's helpful for me while I'm feeling it? What's helpful for me after I felt it? What's my energy level like? And 4, keep taking action. If you're new, keep scheduling those one-on-ones with people to get to know the team. Keep taking notes in the weekly business review meetings of all the questions you have and things they talked about that you didn't understand or acronyms they're using that you don't know. Like, keep taking action to figure it out. That's how you get through the storm, past the feeling of an imposter, to the part where now you feel a little bit more calm and confident. Just remember, imposter syndrome, it's not a real syndrome. It's just terrible branding for that uncomfortable feeling every emotionally healthy human has when they're doing new things. All right, you're amazing. You got this. We'll talk soon. Ready to stop waiting for when and transform your career now? My career coaching membership gives you the tools you need plus direct access to me through private video coaching, all for less than the cost of your monthly cell phone bill. Spots are limited and I frequently have a wait list, so go to lindsaylymancoaching.com/join to find all of the details.